Welcome to the cafe. This is Café Delay. So I tend to have cakes, but I had some real trouble getting hold of Welsh cakes. So this is a rather pathetic substitute. This is Soreen. It's a ginger cake, which is definitely not really very Welsh, but at a distance, brown.
And there's also Welsh cakes, which are like little scone things that you cook on the griddle.
Okay. And you don't call those Welsh cakes in Wales, or?
No, I think they're called cacan, which is like a cooked cake. I don't know. I'm not quite sure how it translates.
Cacan curry.
I've been listening to a Welsh podcast today to get myself in the mood.
Yeah. What was the subject of the podcast?
It was somebody talking about their upbringing in Welsh and how it affected their life, really. And yeah, it was quite relevant. It's never even occurred to me to do that. Yeah. But now I will carry on listening to them. I watch a few Welsh programs on the TV.
You are bilingual.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Wow. And there's a picture of some Welsh lady behind you, I can see.
There is. That picture used to be in every Welsh home at one time.
Oh, really? What is it? Oh, yeah, I see now. It is much bigger than I thought it was.
Yes. And the idea is that because there's this thing about the pride and everything, that you can see the devil in it. And you should be able to see. Can you see there? There's a face of a devil.
Yes, I can see. Oh, I can see my face too. Is that significant?
Yes, that'll be the glass.
Wow. I like the way you say glass.
Yeah.
You're from North Wales, is that correct? Yeah. Can you tell us from the beginning?
Yeah, I mean, as you say, I was born into a Welsh family. We all spoke Welsh, all our friends spoke Welsh, everybody. I mean, we didn't have television in those days, so everything was Welsh until I can remember, and I must have been 6 or 7, sitting at school, and I can still see myself sitting here now, and the teacher's over there saying, right, today, blackboard, we're going to learn English, start learning English. And I can remember her saying that, but I can remember no more of the process whatsoever. The other thing I remember was there were a couple of children in school who didn't speak Welsh, only 2 or 3. And I used to start trying to talk to them, and I'd start saying something in English, and then I'd realise I didn't know the word. So then I'd have to start the sentence again and do it in Welsh because I couldn't get to the end of the sentence.
Yeah. So how would a teacher introduce English? How would she say, today we're going to study English?
Right. Heddiw, dan ni'n mynd I ddechrau dysgu Saesneg.
Oh my goodness, you really are fluent. Wow. Can you just teach me one of those words? Is it today?
Heddiw.
Heddiw.
Very good.
Ah, nice. Oh, that's lovely. And you just have this now, like you listen to the podcast today, no problem.
It takes a while to get back into speaking. Maybe it's just because I'm getting old and I can't remember the vocabulary anymore. Yeah. But there again, I can't always remember the word in English either.
So back to the scene in the playground, those two children, they were, why they were there, I don't know. They were incomers, they were...
I suppose they must have been. I don't really remember.
Yeah. And you carried on speaking Welsh in lessons for math and geography. And then...
At primary school, yes, it was all in Welsh. And then at secondary school, humanities tended to be Welsh and everything else was English.
Did you study arts like singing and secondary school? Yeah.
Don't talk to me about singing. I'm the one person who gives the lie to the fact that the Welsh can sing.
Yeah.
When I was at school, Welsh didn't actually have any legal standing at all.
No. And was there any division between the children that could speak English and Welsh and the children that would only speak English and the children that would only speak Welsh? Was there any awareness of these groups?
Not animosity, there'd be awareness, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I was part of all that. I used to have my little badges on, it's about saving Welsh and all that sort of thing, because I was quite political even in those days. Back then, I was brought up in Plaid Cymru, so I was very involved in all that back then. People were defacing road signs and all that kind of thing, because we didn't have any Welsh on road signs or anything, so that was all going on then. I was a bit too young for that, really, too good. I didn't get into naughty things, but I did used to go on the demos.
Good for you. And did you study Welsh literature and poetry and so on? I think you're. I like in thinking that you are creative, a little bit of creative writing now.
I used to write poetry. Yeah.
People stereotypically say, "Oh, poetry, music." Is this really the Welsh feel?
It was for me, yes, but I don't know. I think because my parents were very much into that sort of thing. They were very sort of into all the arts, and so there was always poetry. My father wrote poetry. I wrote poetry. My mother was more musical, so there was always stuff like that going on.
Yeah,
I think it is very much a part of Wales. Every child is taught to perform. You're expected to perform in some way or another. I couldn't sing, so I did sort of speaking poetry and that kind of thing. So everybody has to do something.
And on what occasion? Is this like family occasions or?
Yeah, or they'd always be, because life sort of then, I mean, this is in the 50s and 60s, was very much around the chapel. So there'd always be little concerts or little plays or Eisteddfods going on. Yeah. You know about the Eisteddfod, don't you?
I imagine it is in a big chapel in the south of Wales. All the men come together and sing in a choir. That's all I know.
No, not at all. It moves. There are small ones. Every town and village has its Eisteddfod, and it's like a competitive festival. Okay. So you'd have competitions for singing and, for boys under 7, and then it just all different categories goes up and up and up until you get all the male voice choirs and everything else. And then there's poetry and writing short stories and all this kind of thing. But the National Eisteddfod is like a huge festival. It's enormous, and it moves from alternately south, north, and south.
Mm-hmm. This sounds beautiful, and of course
it's wonderful. You should catch it on S4C the first week in August, and it's absolutely wonderful.
If I was to go with you to an Eisteddfod in North Wales, in a chapel somewhere, and I wanted to be welcomed there, would I have to wear something special, or?
No.
You're not very formal people?
No. There's nothing. I mean, the traditional Welsh costume, I think, is a bit of a myth, really.
Yeah. I was looking around myself actually for a hat to wear in honor of you, and I could not. All I could see was a bowler hat. I thought, I cannot wear a bowler hat. A chimney pot hat.
Yes, that's right. Stovepipe hat. That was for the women.
Yeah.
But
this,
no, there's nothing. I mean, no.
no, maybe a kagul? Kagul?
Maybe, yes. It rains a lot, so yeah.
And then just to greet people,
So you'd probably say pnawn da, which is good afternoon.
pnawn da.
Pnawn da.
Pnawn da. Ah, yes.
Yeah.
I know bora da, that's a good day.
Good morning. Yeah.
Okay, so they're connected. Pnawn da
Yeah.
and bora da.
Yes.
I am going to the Eisteddfod with Nia. If I get lost, for instance.
Yeah. O dwi'n mynd i'r Eisteddfod hefo Nia.
Okay, let's work backwards. So, hefo Nia with Nia.
Yeah.
E is to, I Eisteddfod.
Yeah.
Hedonia. I Eisteddfod hedonia. Joi, woi.
O dwi'n mynd.
Yoduin mind.
That's very good.
I'm tempted to write it down or bring up the whiteboard, but I think it's better just to immerse myself.
Yes.
Yoduin mind I Eisteddfod. Hello. Hevo Nia. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Da iawn.
I'm trying to say the word thank you. I'm just thinking about it. Diolch yn fawr. Oh, great. There's a little bit hanging around. What did you say, Bach?
I said gwych. That means excellent.
Oh. I won't say diolch yn fawr again because that's like fishing compliment.
The first consonant of a word will change depending on the context.
Oh.
So if you said, for example, I grew up near Bangor. Now, if I said I was going to Bangor, I'd say dwi'n mynd I Fangor, not Bangor, but Fangor. If I said I am in Bangor, I'd say dwi Mangor. So the letters change.
Yeah.
And there's all sorts of complicated rules, which, although you learn them at school, they're already there. I was going to say that's how you can spot people who aren't natural Welsh speakers, is that they get that wrong.
This is a very good tip for everybody.
Yes.
Is it connected to accusative, dative rules or not?
Yeah, yes, it is. And it depends on the pronouns or the preposition that comes before it. And sometimes before, like a feminine noun after a adjective will change and things like that. So we have genders. So there's masculine and feminine.
Okay.
No neutral.
No neutral. So is a feminine thing, can you tell me a word for a feminine thing that you might not think was feminine?
Off the top of my head, no. I mean, a cat is feminine, a dog is masculine.
Of course, yes.
I can't think of any unusual ones, not like the obvious ones in French.
What is a car? Masculine, feminine?
Masculine.
What is a television?
Ooh.
I'm tricking you here because it's a...
Yeah, I'm not sure, to be honest.
It must be a loan word, imported word, so I imagine...
Yes, I'm trying to think. I think it's feminine, I'm not sure, to be honest.
Like if you were going to say, oh, I've got a broken television, and you just said that without thinking, what does it sound like?
Sorry, my I really don't know.
Yeah, because it's an imported word. But I imagine something like, well, acquire, for example.
Yeah.
Acquire, is that sounding like core or cur or something?
Core, yeah.
Core, and this
core. That's masculine.
Masculine. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So where the majority is male people, they are...
No,
No.
No, a female choir would still be
Masculine.
masculine. Yeah.
Yeah. Ah.
It's one of those things. They never make sense in any language, do they? Genders.
Yeah. Oh.
That's my clock.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go, I think there's a little Welsh community because the Welsh tend to seek each other out very much.
That's interesting.
So there's a lot in America, Canada, South America, of course, in Patagonia.
Why? Why, of course?
Patagonia? It's an area of Argentina where there was a shipload of Welsh people in the 19th century who went out to Patagonia in the hope of a better life, where they thought that they could live a Welsh life. They had it sold to them that Patagonia was just like Wales, that they could go there and raise their sheep just like they did at home. And of course they got there and found it was hot and dry and arid and they couldn't do any of those things. And it's a fascinating story. It was a ship called the Mimosa, which sailed out of Liverpool. And I think it was about 150 years ago. There was a memorial a couple of years back. And
it could not come back. Did it not come back?
No, they didn't come back. I have a personal interest in the story because my great-great-grandmother's brother was on that ship. And his wife, when they arrived, they lived on the beach for a while before they managed to find their way up country. And she died on the beach and was buried on the beach. And a few years ago, they were digging to build a road, and they found some bones. And they have checked the DNA and found that was her bones that they found. Isn't that fascinating?
Oh my goodness me! That is wow. Welsh bones in the Patagonian roadside near the beach.
But there's a big Welsh-speaking community there. I mean, there's people there who are sort of Spanish and Welsh bilingual, and it's quite a thing.
I suppose it must have been very impoverished in Wales.
It was. I think there were people who were feeling that English was coming and they were being hounded out of their way of life. And so they were sort of persuaded that they could go and start afresh and start a new Wales, if you like. I mean, it was a bit like the Pilgrim Fathers, I suppose, wasn't it?
Yeah.
A bit later from there. But yeah, my ancestors eventually, after a few years of failing, moved to Canada. And I have seen on the TV a recording of him speaking about that, or his son speaking about it.
It seems that you find out about your relatives via the newspapers and by the broadcast. I hope you don't have any surprises the next time you listen to podcasts. I just want to thank you so much. And there's so much more to ask you. Maybe we can meet again.
Anytime.
Yeah,
It's been fascinating. I've really enjoyed it.
Oh, good. I'm so glad to hear that. And I will look into Patagonia and because you could set up something similar in the Northwest. The very Welsh Wales in the Northwest. Yeah. Oh, take care. Have a lovely day.
And you. Thanks very much, Kurt.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.